Excellent. Our next segment is regarding the FORMO business, and this is really exciting what's happening here. So I'm going to hand over to actually Aaron. Aaron's going to MC this, and Sam. And so I think, Sam, you're on the panel, aren't you? Yeah, yeah, so there we go. So here's Aaron. Thanks very much, mate.
Thank you. Yes. Chris and Rob, come on up. I would definitely second. Our firm, as you know, there's the umbrella of DPN here, and there's many firms represented, and our firm is actually partnering with A21 as well. So a very worthwhile group to look into and be a part of. It's hugely rewarding. And adding to that, FORMO. You would have heard FORMO mentioned a couple of times over the discussions today.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars on designers every single time house. You can defray that cost across hundreds or thousands of homes, and you can continue to enhance and engineer those homes to get better and better. You can produce those houses, A, for a lot less, B, in a fraction of the time. We've got an ambition to produce these houses for probably 30 to 40% of what I just quoted, and to have them be able to construct it in about 6 weeks. And that would, in a sense, disrupt the way housing. Now, when you think of FORMO, it is not only a building company, it's actually a building technology company, and you'll hear a little bit from Rob about that as well, is when you think it's about creating a platform that addresses construction. And when you think of the digitisation of industries, one industry that's fairly digitised is finance. Who here goes into a branch all the time? So about 70 to 80% of finance is now digitised. But there are some sectors that aren't. Things like health, still go in and see a doctor. Can you please give me your medical history every single time? And construction, which is a $15 trillion industry between now and 2020. And so there's a massive opportunity. When you think of missions organisations or certain things, housing, construction, medical clinics, all those things can benefit from a production line business that can make things and ship them in containers and assemble them on site very, very quickly. So building this capability isn't just about building houses and giving people in Western nations beautiful homes. You create a platform that creates an opportunity to do amazing things. So what we'll do right now is go to Joel, I think, and we'll have a look at, that was just the exterior, and when Joel finishes, there's also actually some finished boards and some pictures over there with some of the floor plans. I encourage you during lunch to have a look at that. But the idea then is to take not only the exterior, but work within the interiors and make it truly exceptional and accessible, democratising the design for many people. So it's not just for wealthy people, the 0.1% that Joel usually services. And I think the exciting is to make this available to as many people as possible. Thanks, Joel.
Absolutely. And just one other thing to that, that is why one of the fastest growing builders in the country, B.A. Murphy, are coming on board with FORMO because they see this will disrupt that sector significantly. But Ben has such wisdom that he's also identified that this is the future. This is where it's all going, and we are so stoked that he's part of this as well. And so now over to Joel. Joel's going to talk us through the interiors, and if you've heard a little bit about Joel, you would have heard, maybe picked up on the fact that he likes detail. He has been known to spray the forklift in his factory black from yellow. All his kids' bikes, black. His car is detailed black, and on it goes. But we love that about Joel, that he has such an attention to detail and perfection in everything he does. And don't worry, black is his preference. FORMO homes will have other preferences. But Joel, please do talk us through the interiors.
Thank you. I can't help myself, I'm Swiss, I'm a little bit anal about certain things, so that's just how it is. It has been a great pleasure to work alongside all of the team that were helping, and it's a challenge at the same time, and it also challenges my mind. Working with amazing products and having customers, they have endless amount of money, or not endless, but a lot of times just they want the best, it doesn't really matter how much it costs, is one thing, but then doing the same thing, creating something with the same feel, the same look, but with a really low price, what we're targeting for, is actually quite challenging. I get Sam to change some of the pictures just so you can see everything Sam said before, that we want to achieve something that is actually fulfilling all these things, but then at the same time is affordable. We need to create something that has a heart and a soul, that has a nice feel, that has everything we do, that is practical, that has a nice flow, that the lighting, for example, in different situation where the house is going to be built, that there is a nice flow of light. The lighting is very important. The technical part of the house, how it functions, or the level of technology that's in there, the finishes, the materials, everything is going to matter a lot, because of the end product need to spark emotions for the buyer, so they can connect with, that they feel at home, that they feel a sense of real difference when they go in there. We just have a few pictures just for you to see. Of course, this is all work in progress now, where we're going to go, and one thing is built after the other. But if you want to have a little look at the finishing board, that gives you a little bit of an insight. It's very boring because it's all shades of black. There's no color there. But it's just to show you the emotions that it will create. When we come to that step, we will show you, of course, more how it's going to look like in detail. So these pictures are pictures of suppliers, of course, from, I would say, the best part of the world where design is made. It's in Italy. Still to date, they do have a great sense of proportion, great sense of how to combine materials, and they are most of the suppliers we work with. They are from Italy, but of course our aim is to create that ourselves, and we want to create all these products really thought through. So by the time we actually use it in these FORMO houses, that this is the best that it can be.
So what do you, when you say the products, what are you talking about? What are we providing or looking to do as part of the FORMO house?
So we start with the built-in parts of the house, like of course kitchens and wardrobes, all these things. But then we want to go further. We want to go and design our own products in terms of like chairs, tables, even IT products. Where you can go anywhere you can think of. I think see the cutlery. There's a barbecue, I think, somewhere. We can brand everything as well and really make it an experience. And the idea is as well that where we orientate ourselves, we heard that from Chris, is the car industry, or Apple is a good example too, that you can customize products to make it your own, but it's actually guided from professionals. They show you what you can combine together, what colors you can combine together, that the end product still will look amazing, but it's actually professionally done. So that's where we want to go.
Excellent. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. And you can see that what's happening with the FORMO home is that level of detail that you would often see in high-end joinery is actually what's going through the home holistically. Every junction, every wall to ceiling detail, floor to wall, anything that goes into the home, the detail is articulated, resolved, and the intent is that it's beautiful. Not just what you see, but what's behind it as well. So that's really key to what we're all about. We're going to hear from Rob now. I've asked him to present in English, as he one of his earlier studies was in Latin and ancient Greek, I believe. So if you do speak either of those languages, please, Rob would love to have a conversation later. Tick all those boxes for him. But Rob, could you tell us a little bit about ARMA, and also then how you see this vision of FORMO coming to fruition?
Yeah, I'll let this play a little bit. So, our expertise is in designing, in setting up digital pipelines, or a digital thread that links design through to fabrication and linking in manufacturing. So this just shows some of the ways that we do that. But and it's exactly what we want to do with FORMO, is to really start to think about the house as a platform for living, and exactly as Chris spoke about, which I'll show you in a second. So, not just in terms of the way that the automotive industry is set up, but really thinking about the way the automotive industry is projecting itself into the future. And a good precedent is, for example, Volkswagen, and moving away from having a single platform which can span across a single vehicle class, and thinking about a collection of modules or a toolkit where all of these things can come together in different ways. And so essentially you're putting all of your energy and intellect into designing and engineering the thing once, and then being able to reuse that in many different configurations, which allows you then to set up a configuration like you would in a vehicle. And as part of this, some of the things that what we're thinking about is thinking about the house as a system of systems. And so we've got a structural system and a cladding system, joinery, bathroom, and kitchen systems. And then working through how we can start to manufacture that, or how we can start to move what normally happens on site into a factory where it can be quality controlled, and we can reduce the time and improve the speed and the quality. But here you see this is a recent trip to Europe looking at timber manufacturing, so glulam and cross-laminated timber, and some of the ways that it's set up, and machinery. And in this case, what you're looking at here is a glulam beam, and then how that comes together. And then, this is a curved one. That's Mark II, I think, Chris, right?
This is great. So this might be a spoiler alert for the technology we're considering, but I love it.
Yeah. So this is all very much work in progress, and being such it's going to change and evolve. But it gives you an idea of the level of integration we can have, where we can start routing ductwork and electrical into the structure itself. And then going from something like this to something like this, which is not the FORMO house, but it gives you an idea of how that happens, and then prototyping the whole thing on the computer ahead of time, so that we can really practice the installation before we get to site, so that you know that it's all going to happen on time, so you're getting the right material to the right place at the right time. And so doing a lot of digital prototyping the factory, so essentially building digital twins of the house, prototyping the twin, prototyping the factory, and prototyping the site, so that you can start to see how that then goes together.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is how we would see the FORMO home being presented to the installers. The guys who are putting it together will get this kind of instructional guide where they might walk over with an iPad or something, scan a pallet, know that parts 1, 2 and 3 are there, scan another pallet, 4, 5 and 6, look at the little automated, click it together. So the CV interview is, do you like Meccano, Lego, and did you find IKEA was too limiting for you, and were you really wanting to, well then you come in, assemble a chair and sit down. It's a game changer, it really is. And you can see the desire is to get away from wet trades on site and the builder's crap you saw in Sam's beautiful slide there. But the benefit of the FORMO home is that we can go for star ratings that are unheard of in this country. So with the precision that Rob's talking about, and possibly the CLT product, we can develop products that are 7-star plus, which means that they're incredibly environmentally friendly. So is there anything you'd like to add, Rob? I think that's brilliant. Very happy with that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But looking at how we can start to track and capture environmental benefits as well.
Yeah. So thank you all to the panel. Sam, would you like to add anything in closing? I have one question for Sam. On the spot question. And it's something that people have asked of me, and it's the FORMO, how does FORMO play into everyone in this room? What impact does it have? What does it do for DPN?
Yeah, so as you said, it's not just DPN. DPN is a partner with other organisations here. But what it does is, if we look at Casa Capace is essentially a company that's taking us to the national stage. but we feel that FORMO is really, who knows about the Avengers? Get a few superheroes together and build something great. And if I could say that for us, you know, these guys here are running their own businesses and doing a great job, but assembling a great team of people. And that's what I love to do, and you know, partner with people. It's the great joy of working with people. It's not just doing the work or making money, but actually, and doing a good cause, but the joy of working with people, solving problems, and having great outcomes. But put those people together, look at great challenges, and see how you can resolve them. And the idea is that it can catapult our businesses in the fields that we're working in into a completely different sphere and have a massive material impact. So it is not, so whilst today is DPN Vision Day, kindly all these business owners have come and spent time. It is representative of their businesses and the great teams that are behind there, and the years of labour and skill and you know, perfecting their craft and their art.
Great.
Is that a good enough answer?
That was.
Okay.
That was. So thank you to our panel. Thank you all for your